What's going on, boxing fam? Subscribe or die trying. And in this moment of silence, it's probably a good time for you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Anyway, Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, May 2nd, May per view prediction. Let's go. I'm going to start off with tail of the tape, which is probably the most telling part of this fight. The tail of the tape, you have Manny Pacquiao at 5'6.5", 67-inch reach. You have Floyd Mayweather, 5'8.5", 72-inch reach. So needless to say, Floyd is taller and has a longer reach. Now, does that actually mean anything when it comes to Manny Pacquiao? Absolutely not. Manny Pacquiao has fought plenty of fighters that are taller than him with longer reach. For example, Oscar De La Hoya. For example, Antonio Margarito. For example, Eric Morales. For example, Chris Algieri. When you're 5'6.5", the average person that you box will probably be taller than you. The average person in life is going to be taller than you. So, him fighting taller fighters with longer reach is not going to be a problem. It's nothing that he's never seen before. Pacquiao has the hand speed, and more importantly than the hand speed, the foot speed to negate that. When it comes to boxing, you know, a lot of fight fans just look at speed and power. That's it, and they think that's all the intangibles that it takes to be a great fighter. But if you have hand speed and you don't have foot speed, you're never going to be in position to let that hand speed be effective. Now, Manny Pacquiao has excellent foot speed. Probably the fastest feet in boxing that I know of, unless it's somebody in the lower weight classes. But at 147 pounds, Pacquiao definitely has the fastest feet that could get him quickly into position where he can use that speed. Now, the last fighter that Floyd Mayweather has fought with that type of foot speed was Ricky Hatton. Now, we all know what happened with Ricky Hatton. Floyd, it went 9 or 10 rounds, I believe. Floyd hit him with a check left hook, and then Ricky Hatton went head first into the turnbuckle. We all remember that embarrassing moment. But the one thing about that fight, though Ricky Hatton was thoroughly outclassed, his foot speed was able to make Floyd uncomfortable. In fact, it made him very uncomfortable. Now, Floyd being uncomfortable is not going to win you the fight. I can tell you that right now, and I don't have to tell you because you already know that. Just because he's uncomfortable doesn't mean he's going to lose, because comfort doesn't win you the fight. Punches do, and landed punches. Clean landed punches. Now, couple that with Manny Pacquiao. He has the foot speed to make Floyd uncomfortable. He has way more hand speed than Ricky Hatton, though. And not only does he have more hand speed, he's also a southpaw, which means he's leading with his right instead of his left, which is going to be a different angle than what Floyd is naturally used to. If you go back in Floyd's career, And you've probably heard, for years that Floyd has trouble with southpaws. When Floyd fought Demarcus Chop Chop Corley, Demarcus Corley, gave Floyd some trouble, hitting with a couple clean shots that was very uncharacteristic of you seeing happening to Floyd. You have Zab Judah, who really is the only fighter to actually really technically knock Floyd down. He hit Floyd with a shot. Floyd was off balance. Glove hits the ground. Referee doesn't catch it. It doesn't get ruled an official knockdown, but it should have been. Was he hurt? No, but it was a knockdown. And actually, in most fights, in 90% of fights, when you get knocked down, unless you totally dominate the rest of that round, you're going to lose that round 10-8. Now, let's say he was fighting Manny Pacquiao and Pacquiao knocks him down. That's going to be a 10-8 round for Pacquiao. So that could have been a 10-8 round for Judah. The referee just didn't catch it, but it should have been a knockdown. But Judah is another one. He has fast feet, fast hands, and power. Pacquiao has faster feet than Judah, faster hands than Judah, more power than Judah. So with that being said, now you know Floyd has trouble with southpaws. He's had trouble with fighters with great foot speed. He's been knocked down once in his career, yet it was unofficial. And the fighter who knocked him down was a southpaw with foot speed, hand speed, and power. And Manny has all those attributes, each and every one of them. And as a matter of fact, of all those attributes he has them stronger he's more strong in those attributes than any other fighters that gave Floyd trouble. That gave him trouble. Now, let's take Manny Pacquiao's weaknesses here. Manny Pacquiao has had an issue with body shots. He's been knocked out, I think, twice from body shots earlier in his career. Antonio Margarito, when he fought him, hurt Manny to the body. And Juan Manuel Marquez, when he fought Manny, the first knockdown that people seem to forget, they just remember the knockout, but there was an actual knockdown. I believe it was in the third round. And what he did was he feinted to the body and came over top with a right. Manny reacted to the feint, dropped his hands, got caught with the right. The reason he reacted to the feint was because Marquez had been throwing body shots and throwing that punch for the first 2 rounds. And he threw it like 3 or 4 times in that same round before he caught him with the overhand right. Which will tell you, obviously, Pacquiao still has issues with body shots, or he wouldn't have reacted to the feint that strongly. Even though it didn't look like the body shots Marquez was hitting him with was affecting him, they obviously were. As a matter of fact, when he fought Margarito, I didn't even recognize that the body shots hurt him until he said it himself after the fight. And then you go back and look, and it's like, oh, that's where he was talking about. So Manny tends to have issues with body shots. Floyd is a very underrated body puncher. Manny Pacquiao also has issues with the straight right hand. Floyd has the best right hand, best straight right hand in the business. Pacquiao has an issue with movement. Most of the fighters that he looked amazing against were straightforward fighters. Mind you, they were big and strong and powerful, but they didn't have a lot of foot speed and didn't give a lot of movement. Lately, Floyd has not been given a lot of movement, but he's very capable of doing it, and he's probably uh, one of the best pure boxers of this era. So as you see, this matchup is going to is very intriguing. It's not quite as easy to pick as a lot of people are saying, where they just say, "Oh, Manny's going to knock out Floyd," or "Floyd's going to just destroy Manny." But with all that being said, let me break something down for you. One aspect that I've never heard anybody say, and I think a lot of people forget this. Uh, when you talk about Floyd having issues with right-handers, with left-handers, he got rocked the hardest by a right-hander, and that was Shane Mosley. The left-handers who hit him, clean and gave him a mild issue, that they only gave him an issue for approximately 30 seconds. Shane Mosley had him that close to being out of there. He's a right-hander. So I would be willing to say, and being that Floyd's undefeated, he's 47-0, I don't really think that the southpaw advantage that Manny has is all that real. And especially being that Floyd can't have too much issues with southpaws because he's 47-0. If anything, I would say southpaws have issues with Floyd because every southpaw he fought, he beat. Now, actually, though, the issue that I was saying that people haven't heard anybody bring up is Eric Morales. You might have heard me mention him earlier. Eric Morales fought Manny Pacquiao. Manny and Eric Morales fought. The first time they fought, Eric Morales beat him. They fought 3 times. Fight number 1, Morales won. Fight number 2 was pretty much back and forth until probably the 8th, 9th round. So when Pacquiao took him out, he probably hurt him in the 8th and then finished him off in the 9th. But before that, I would probably venture to say Morales was probably winning that fight, even though it was damn close. And then the 3rd time they fought, Manny just destroyed him. And after the fight, Morales said he just couldn't deal with the power. He actually got knocked down, and he could have got up, and he just sat there on the mat, just shaking his head no, like, I don't know why you counting, because I ain't getting up. But the first Morales fight, Pacquiao Morales, first fight, Morales outboxed Pacquiao. Now the interesting thing about Eric Morales is, and the connection with Eric Morales and Floyd Mayweather is Morales is 5'8", with a 72-inch reach advantage, which is the exact same dimensions as Floyd Mayweather. Now, he's 5'8" with a 72-inch reach, and he outboxed Manny. He didn't outfight him, he outboxed him. Floyd Mayweather is 100 times better boxer than Eric Morales. The exact same dimensions as a fighter in height and reach, and a better boxer. And on top being a better boxer, Floyd Mayweather arguably has the best defense. He definitely has the best defense today, and he arguably has the best defense of all time. Juan Manuel Marquez knocked out Manny Pacquiao 2 years ago, I believe it was. Now people say, "Oh, Floyd fought Marquez and you know, blah blah blah." Floyd ran right through Marquez, but which is totally irrelevant to Pacquiao and Floyd fighting. But one thing that is relevant, if you were to ask me or probably anybody else or any boxer, who hits harder, Marquez or Floyd Mayweather? Because Floyd's not known for power. But I don't really think people are worried about Marquez's power. He's bulked up some. But as far as just being worried about his power, I don't see it. And he was able to knock out Pacquiao. One thing about a knockout, when you get knocked out cold, it's just like a concussion. It's easier for you to get knocked out. When you get knocked out cold, your brain remembers that. Because when you get knocked out, it's basically your brain smashing against your skull. And then it shuts your body down. So you kind of got a bruise on your brain. Your brain's going to remember that. And that's why it's easier for people to get concussions after the first one. It's easier for people to get knocked out after the first time. Manny is not exactly the best at defense. He's very aggressive. But Floyd is probably the fighter who gave Manny the most issues was Juan Manuel Marquez, who is an excellent counterpuncher. And Floyd is the best counterpuncher in the game. I know a lot of people, they want to go with their heart or go with the media and say that Manny is going to win this fight. But one thing you have to remember, there's only two things that wins fights. That's skill and luck. And Floyd's a little too cautious for you to win off luck. Manny Pacquiao, the Manny Pacquiao that the media and pretty much the casual boxing fan is banking on winning, is the Manny Pacquiao that destroyed Oscar De La Hoya. The Manny Pacquiao that hit Ricky Hatton with one punch and damn near killed him. That Manny Pacquiao is no longer around. The Manny Pacquiao that's around right now is the Manny Pacquiao that went 12 rounds with Chris Algieri, who's a basic fighter that never had fought out of New York. He never fought outside of New York, and I'm sure, unless you're, unless you're a boxing fan, you've never heard of him before he fought Manny Pacquiao. And actually, the majority of people probably watching this, who are probably casual fans, still haven't heard of him, and they watched the last fight, and they don't even remember the dude's name. He couldn't knock him out. He fought Tim Bradley after the Marquez fight, and Tim Bradley, who has, I believe, 9 knockouts in his career, wobbled Manny. Tim Bradley, there's no way in hell Tim Bradley could have wobbled Manny from 2009, the Manny that fought De La Hoya, the Manny that ran through Miguel Cotto. And Tim Bradley definitely does not hit harder than Floyd. Your safe bet, Floyd, by unanimous decision, first 2-3 rounds will probably be close. But if Manny loses the first round, this fight will be a complete whitewash. By the end of the fight, I expect people to look at this. Either they're going to make excuses of why Manny lost, or wonder how they even thought that these two fighters should be in the same ring. Because it's going to be a definite gap in skill level and class. And do not be surprised if Floyd Mayweather wins by knockout. And I'm talking about a punishing knockout, where Manny is retreating the majority of the fight, Floyd's walking him down, and takes him out of there. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Like dislike the video, do whatever you want. See you May 2nd. Get familiar.